All right. Welcome, everybody. I am Jeff with the Death Star Human Resources newsletter, Death Star Human Resources Department newsletter, podcast edition. This is something new that I am trying. Hopefully, we will have one of these maybe every other week or so. I'm joined today by two very special guests, Kevin Penny and Cotter Champlin of the heavy metal band Galactic Empire. Guys, thanks for being on here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
All right. Just by way of introduction, I described Galactic Empire as the galaxy's only Star Wars themed progressive metal band. Is that accurate? Do I have the genre right or wrong?
Yeah.
I would say it's right. I think the genre thing that we infused to the whole picture of it is definitely the metal part of it, just because of orchestration, different timbres we're using, and the productions of the songs in general. I guess I do see a lot of John Williams music and some of the other composers' musics that we play from Star Wars, mainly John Williams, as being more progressive in their style. Classical music often has that quality to it, where it moves from idea to idea, and you might not end in the same place that you began by a long shot. You know,
Cool.
Yeah.
I always joke that we're a cover plus band. If I'm trying to just not have a conversation with a coworker, it's like, what do you do? It's like, I'm in a cover plus band.
Right, there you go. We play Star Wars music, but it's not what you think it is.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into, I know you guys have a new album coming up. Before we get into it, who are each of you in the band, and what do you play?
You want to go first, Cotter?
Sure, yeah, I'm Darth Brooks. I play a rather unique part in the band. I play counter guitar. So we have three guitarists. We have lead, we have counter, and we have rhythm. So rhythm, usually we're hearing a lot of the chuggier stuff, a lot of the more just foundational parts that maybe the lower strings might be doing in the orchestra, maybe some of the percussion might be doing in the orchestra, right? And we see rhythm guitarists in regular metal bands. We kind of know their vibe. We also have a lead guitarist, right? Kind of doing some of the higher end of the parts, stuff that's up on the staff a bit, even higher in hertz level if you're getting scientific about it. But maybe some of the main parts, the main melodies, the themes that you're hearing in the songs. Well, with counter guitar, I'm playing a lot of the sinewy parts that kind of meld the rhythm and the lead together. So when you think about, for example, maybe the main theme, kind of da 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 da, there's that slowdown, and then there's these trilling flutes that just kind of are ascending as the theme's being played. And I play parts like that, those flutes that are kind of in the middle of everything, kind of, you would notice it if it was gone, but it's not the most apparent thing when you're listening to the song, So I play counter guitar specifically that kind of has that in the middle kind of layer, is kind of chameleoning in between rhythm and lead almost at all times. I really enjoy that part about it because you just get to encompass a lot of musical material,
That's really cool.
That translates to he gets to play the hardest parts. And
it does.
It's just like watching him play throughout the show is like, where is that in the original composition? And then you listen, you're like, oh, yeah, I guess that is there. I just didn't really think about it. But yeah, the flutes are, 16th note runs the whole way through. And you're like, yeah, cool.
That's
so
really cool because
do that.
whenever I think of there's not a ton of three guitar bands out there. Maybe think of Leonard Skinner or kind of the classic lineup from Drive By Truckers with Cooley, Isbell, and Hood.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I never really thought about you've got your lead and your rhythm. Okay, what's the third guy doing? So that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a modern example of that is this band called Periphery. They have three guitarists in their band, and it almost is the same function, but they all kind of have these moments where they take leads. They'll have leads all across, and they also have guest leads. But yeah, three guitarists. I don't know. It does get a little busy, but things definitely are mixed right, and everyone kind of is given their own space. You hear all the interacting.
Yeah.
And Kevin, what about you?
I play the bass, so I get to take much more performance focused approach because a lot of my stuff is not nearly as technical. Yeah, so I don't have to. I'm not necessarily worried about like nailing all of the lines because the lines are bum 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 ba-da-da. So I can, myself and the rhythm player do a lot of, extreme performance stuff.
So I also know you are OD66 in the band, and I'm almost ashamed to admit this. It took me far too long to get the Order 66 joke there. Like, it just hit me
all right.
fairly recently. I was like, oh man, don't know how I missed that one.
Some of them are a bit more obvious than others, but like, yeah, I feel like if you come from the musician's perspective, you see the OD and you think like overdrive or something like that. But then OD isn't a normal representation of the word order, I don't think. It's usually ORD, if anything.
Yeah. And I also thought with Darth Brooks, like if you were a Sith Lord from Oklahoma, like that's kind of the name.
That's really the personality I actually try to embody, I think, too. Like that, it's more of like a bounty hunter kind of vibe to it. Yeah.
I mean, Garth Brooks. I mean, he's pretty well known for putting on a show.
Yes. Yeah.
I've never seen him in concert. I had some friends who did on, I guess, his last tour, and they were like, wow, that he goes for like 2.5, 3 hours, something like that.
That's pretty incredible. Yeah, because we typically do an hour. We've done a bit longer, done a bit shorter, and an hour. I mean, feels like it's enough most nights, right?
Yeah.
I just assume with like the costumes and the helmets that you're wearing, like an hour under the stage lights you gotta be done after that.
Oh yeah. I'm sure we can get into some more specifics with that later on in the interview for sure.
So. I have to start with, you guys have a new album coming out. Talk a little bit about that.
Go ahead, Kevin.
We have a new album coming out. So we decided to branch into other franchises because like a lot of the main Star Wars stuff we've covered it.
It's exhausted,
people aren't. Yeah, like we people are not like humming like interim music that like just fills space in scenes. So, but Grant. One of the Sith Lords, one of the original lineup, and our manager has like some other pieces that he was working on. He started working on Pirates in 2020, and he's like, "Well, why don't we just continue into other franchises?" We it seems like people really like the Star Wars stuff, so might as well branch out. So that's the I guess 30,000 feet of it. So I don't know if you have anything else you want to add, Cotter.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is stuff that we've been kind of putting into the fold since our membership of the band, essentially. Now, we started in, I think you could trace it back to like, late winter, early spring of 2023 for, the current rendition of the band joining. We started, filming the Mandalorian music video that we did. That was kind of the first task, but then we had a string of 4 shows, and that was in May, and a couple of those songs were outside of the realm of Star Wars already. We were playing Jurassic Park. We were starting to entertain Indiana Jones. All at this earlier side of the coin, I guess. And if you came out to shows in 2023, you indeed heard us play some of those out of Star Wars range kind of numbers. And I think as just time went on, we all kind of had a general consensus that's like, all of the Star Wars stuff that exists under Galactic Empire's name is kind of getting exhausted as far as like main, hummable, as Kevin said, themes go. Stuff that's not intermittent. So it just seemed logical to not only follow what else Williams has to offer, but just because we are getting into cinematic music being transitioned into a different orchestration, into a condensed orchestration, and so many different timbres, it seemed like the logical thing to do. And I think we just chose some more of those more hummable things. I think that's that theme that gets people singing along with the music, because it's instrumental music after all, right? So you have to have this. You don't have to, right? But we like to include this component of the singer being the audience themselves. That's one of the best parts about the show is just seeing people like singing the themes, like even if it's just like a part of Jurassic Park when the theme is like first realized and by the general audience, they're like that's just nothing else beats that. Yeah. So I think it just seems
foreign
logical.
crowds especially.
We'll
The
talk
foreign
about
crowds
that.
especially. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it definitely makes sense too with like Indiana Jones and Jurassic Park because you're branching out from the John Williams catalog, I guess. So I was gonna say I think so. You guys were in Dallas. We're recording this September 26th. You guys were in Dallas about 7 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I think you did Superman, which is another John Williams.
Yep.
And I'm going by memory here. Terminator.
Yep.
There's one I don't remember, and then the Pirates of the Caribbean theme absolutely rips. Like that is just absolutely fantastic. I really, really enjoyed that one.
That's kind of another one we've been doing for a long while now.
Yeah.
That was, I think, in 2023 we started playing that one, like later in the year of it, if not into 2024. So it's been a year,
definitely.
year and a half, something like that.
Yeah,
Even
and that
2
one's
years.
it's just a fun song. Like it's bouncy, it's upbeat. Like it's really I shouldn't say everybody. Most people are going to recognize it, and it's one I think just being in the crowd when you guys started that one up, there was definitely a good response from the crowd on that one.
Right. And it's just that change of pace, I think, that people often don't expect. They bought a ticket to something billed as a Star Wars concert, right? For this other cinematic piece of music to come out in the middle of the set is a bit of a surprise. It can kind of add a different jolt to the set. The listener and the concert goer can go home with a different experience that they would have if it was just all Star Wars music.
Right.
Yeah.
When is the album out? That's probably an important piece of information.
October 24th.
Yeah,
October
I was
24th.
gonna say that's soon. That's less than a month away. We just posted that it's less than a month away.
And it is it's called Cinemetal, right?
Cinemetal.
Cinemetal. Yeah.
Do you have so we can tell the people? Do you have a track list handy? If not, we'll put a link to it.
Yeah. I think I got something. And if
can
anyone
pull one
wants
up.
to go check it out, it is on our Instagram page.
I've got
Where
it
is
pulled up if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it, Kevin.
So in order of the album, it's Avengers theme, Back to the Future, Batman, and this is Tim Burton, Danny Elfman Batman, E.T., Godzilla, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park, Lord of the Rings, Pirates, Superman, Terminator.
I mean, that's a pretty classic lineup of movie themes there.
Yeah.
You know what we're trying to do. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just logical stepping to just go into all of these very known movie themes after focusing on one franchise of movies for so long.
Were there any themes that you wanted to get into this album, but couldn't quite make it work for whatever reason?
I remember we had talked. I remember like the theme of "Now You See Me, Now You Don't." Or some of the numbers in there I remember were talked about, but I don't think they were as strong contenders. I think
I don't think we had anything that was like ready to go. But like we have stuff that's like, all right, here's what's next.
All right,
sounds
cool.
like-
And you guys are starting like I said, we're talking on September 26th. You guys are starting a tour pretty soon, the next week or so.
Yep. At the end of next month, so October 21st is the first date.
Okay.
I don't know when we're leaving, but we'll be in Chicago on the 21st
Chicago
of October.
is the first date. Yep.
That seems like good information to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 21st of October through the 24th of November.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll be out for a bit over a month, and we'll be hitting a lot of different regions of the country. I've been describing it to some people that we're going as far southwest as San Diego, as far southeast as Miami, and as far northeast as New York, all in just one tour. Yeah, so it's quite a bit
We're
of
in
ground.
Boston too.
Boston, I guess that's
We're not
even further
hitting
northeast.
Pittsburgh. Yeah, we're not hitting Pittsburgh, but that's on the flyer. But otherwise, we're going all the way up to Boston, which is cool. Or Cambridge.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is Boston. Boston.
Yeah.
And
I live in
the
Philly.
middle of that. Smack dab in the middle of that is a cruise. The Coheed and Cambria SS Neverender.
Cool.
We got invited onto earlier this year, and that is sandwiched in between 2 weeks of dates, kind of on either side. Yeah, so we'll just have a nice break at sea from Miami to Cozumel, and then back, and then just get right back in the van and keep doing our thing.
That sounds like. What are those? Have you guys done any of those music cruises before?
Nope.
I always see them advertised, and I either think that's either going to be the most fun thing imaginable, or it'll just be hell on earth. Like there's no in between.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise personally, but I'm looking forward to at least being able to play one. And
Yeah.
If I'm already having to take care of myself on the road for a couple weeks there, I'll probably be in the mode to be like, all right, I can expect for some some wild things to happen, some out of pocket things. I don't know, but I think it'll be relatively chill. I've heard some people that have both been on this cruise as artists and as fans, and they said it's gone well in the past.
I just not to dissuade you, but I just think of cruises as floating petri dishes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I've heard that.
definitely. Because it's just this self-contained environment, and you don't have too much of a way to export all of that stuff.
I've been on them before, but it's been a long time, and it would take a lot to get me back on one these days. Just not done
Gotta
it.
experience it once, I guess.
Yeah. It was worth it. I've done it. It's fun. Like, I enjoyed myself. I would probably do, like, some of those music cruises do look fun. I might be able to be talked into that, but just like a regular float around the Caribbean or something, I was like, I've done that. I don't need to pick up any new diseases from people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to get sick unnecessarily.
No. I just think there was that, what was it, the poop cruise or whatever. And sorry, I'm probably giving you guys...
I remember.
So good.
Yeah. I've been looking into cruise mishaps as a result of this because it's my first one.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what am I supposed to suspect? What's the worst of the worst?
Right,
What's my extremity here?
Yeah, worst case. I was gonna say worst case scenario is.
She said that.
Yeah, worst case scenario is a
on
poop cruise. Anything better than that, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah. Good Lord. Let's just hope they have a good system for the stuff we got to get rid of.
All right.
So yeah, that's coming up. Hopefully it'll be relaxing in middle.
Right. I hope there are no diseases, and I hope the plumbing system holds out.
Yeah.
Yes, let us hope.
All right, I want to talk a little bit, just kind of like, how did the band come about, and how did you guys get involved in it?
It came about with Grant writing, I think, the Imperial March drum part that's part of the song now. And he got some good traction from that, and he's a great writer. So he did the Imperial theme, and then he's like, why don't we do the main theme as well? And it just so happened that I think right at that time they moved into a new studio at the Rockledge campus. And right next door is a movie studio, and the owner of the campus was like, "Listen, cross-pollinate with each other, help each other out to build this up." Which the Rockledge campus, if you've not heard of it before, it's absolutely huge at this point. So they filmed a music video for the main theme, and they released that the day that the new trilogy dropped. And I remember keeping an eye on it because my guitar player in my other band was doing Darth Vader at the time. And I was at work just casually catching updates on my phone as I went upstairs because I was in the basement of a club. And every time I went upstairs, I'm like, oh, there's 6-figure more views. So it just worked out that they struck the iron at the exact right time, that that was maybe there's something to be done with this.
Yeah,
exactly what I was gonna say. I think it was just what if we did Star Wars but it was metal? And I think a lot of metalheads kind of have that thought about one thing or the other. For me, it was Pokemon soundtracks from generations 1 through 3. I ended up kind of metalizing some of the Pokemon MIDI channels and information that you can go not only listen to in the games but go and download and then maybe trace out. It's I always thought of it as a relatively similar process. It's just hey, what if we did this but metal, and then
Right.
that just turns. You just plant a seed when you say something like that. It turns into whatever you want it to, as long as you have the ambition and the means to continue to push it forward.
Well, I think one of my favorite, speaking of kind of like take something but make it metal, I think the first show I saw you guys at in Dallas last year, I just remember there was somebody in the crowd. He was wearing like your typical, cut off sleeves jean vest that you see metalheads wear, but instead of like Slayer and Metallica patches on the back, he had like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings and all that.
I thought I saw that dude at one point. Yes, yeah, that's just so sick. I think that like segues into like just the kind of audience members that we get. Is it can be a toss up some nights of like, hey, are we going to get more Star Wars fans or are we going to get more metalheads? But more often than not, there's a good then. There's a good common ground with those two people or two groups of people. It's almost hard to separate them sometimes, myself included. Someone that loves metal and loves just sci-fi at large. Yeah.
So for people who haven't been to a Galactic Empire show, because I really think like, I have all 3 of your albums that are released. You can find them on all the streaming platforms and everything like that. But I think to really get the band, like you guys really are one of those bands where you say you have to see them live. So if like for somebody who's never seen a Galactic Empire show, like how would you describe it? Like what would be kind of your pitch to somebody if they like your music but are like, do I really want to go?
It's a cosplay convention with music attached, and it's a blast.
Yes.
I think some of the most fun shows that we've played have been at some like comic convention or some like attachment to that kind of thing. Like we played RetroCon in Oaks, PA, at the beginning of this month, and that was great. Like people are already there for a convention for that like nerd sphere of stuff, so they come out. They know the material. They know they probably know of us, or if they don't, like we start playing and they're like, oh, I know what that is. So it's still a metal show, first and foremost. And, I think everybody that we've had that has mixed us before would agree, that it's a, a metal show at heart, but like, there's a lot of fun to it.
Yeah, most of the shows end up being all ages. So you'll see 6 to 66 there. You'll see 5 to 55, 7 to 77. I've seen my grandma's come out to a show. She might be one of the oldest attendees for our shows that we've had. She's in her I believe mid 80s, bless her heart. And yeah, I remember she sat front row for our Rochester show in her little walker. Yeah.
That's
but
awesome.
Then, yeah, to the side of her was my 7-year-old cousin. Yeah, right. So it's a very versatile and wide net for an audience. Yeah, I think you can come down, not only enjoy it as an adult, but also enjoy it as a family, enjoy it as a teenager, enjoy it as a kid. It's like we don't want to really like keep the experience from everyone, just because Star Wars really touches upon all age groups. I feel like it draws people in with certain factors of all ages. Yeah, for sure.
So lost my train of thought for a sec. So are there any, actually I was going to ask this. So kind of one of your bits that you do in the show is there's a rebel spy that gets dragged on stage and he gets interrogated. How do you guys pick who gets to do that, and what do I have to do to do I have to wave my hand, or like what do I need to do next time I'm at a show?
So we do it as a one-time offering. So typically it's like, we'll put up a sign at the merch table like, be part of the experience, and typically within the first 5-10 minutes we have someone that's like, I want that. I don't want a t-shirt, I want that. Or I want a t-shirt and I want that. So they'll be the victim, the rebel spy for that night.
Right.
We did have a couple instances where we were like, we had special circumstances where it's like before we offered that, like we would just ask people like, hey, do you want to be part of the show? Back in early 2023. And like at one of the shows we played SpaCon, which is like Arkansas's Hot Springs, sci-fi convention. And I remember like 10 minutes to show, we don't have anybody yet. And it's like, well, we've still got like 20, 30 minutes into the show to find someone. And if nothing else, we'll just use like, the manager or the tech or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm backstage grabbing my in-ears, grabbing my bass. I just look side stage and I'm like, that's the voice actor for Squidward. I'm not seeing this right. And so, of course, I ran backstage, and I'm like, guys, Squidward's here. And, of course, everybody's like, someone dressed like him? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. The guy who plays him as his voice actor is here backstage right now. And they're like, oh, my God. And I was like, we don't have a force choke victim. So my manager's like, I'll be right back. So we had him as our victim for that night. So it's not that we didn't want to offer it to a fan, but it was just that, when's the next time we're going to be able to force choke Squidward?
Right. I was wondering because I saw you guys, like I said, Dallas last year and then again this year. And the first show, the force choke victim was somebody who had a really, really good, I forget who it was. Just a really good Jedi costume, Barriss Offrey. And
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fantastic costume. And then last month it was just a random guy.
Yeah. That's what you can expect at the shows.
Yeah. It's a mixed bag sometimes. Some people want to just get up and be a part of the act, but might not be the person with the drab on for it, or something. But yes, it's fun when you get someone in costume because it does make it a bit more cinematic for the audience. A bit more like, oh wow, they went to that extra bit to put in the force choke victim in a costume, or like, oh, I saw that guy in the crowd,
Right.
something like that. Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you see? I thought it was different between the two shows. The first one, there were quite a few people dressed up. The last show, back in August, I saw, I think, one person in a Mando costume, and there was a woman standing next to me who was doing a pirate wench / night sister costume, which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To go with, yeah, because I was standing by her, I was like, are you supposed to be like a night sister? And she's like, night sister pirate wench. I'm going with the Pirates of the Caribbean theme here. Nice. But I really didn't see anybody else. And do you see our shows more people in costume, less people in costume? Just kind of depends.
It depends.
I think it is dependent. Yeah. Yeah, like you were saying, at conventions, of course, you're going to get so many more people that are, going as someone, that have someone to go in, that they're going to get up if you're talking to them before the show, like, oh yeah, I'm going to go, get into my gear before you guys go on. I'll see you up there. And then I've had people just talk about, their collection of different costumes that they have after that point. And it's been fascinating just to see some people's personal interests and, dare I call it, obsessions with Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's really cool, like, to see people collect all the stuff that they do. I actually have a couple Lego figurines. I have a K2SO and I have a Chewbacca figurine that chill around my apartment, and I love them. So I get why people want to stack it up. It's a great thing to collect. But costumes vary. I think is also indicative of whether you have more metalheads or maybe perhaps cosplayers and Star Wars fans in the shows. What is the percentage of costumes, I guess. Yeah.
And
my
sometimes
theory on
they're not open to like helmets or like costumes.
That's
so
right.
like,
That too.
Typically someone will ask in they'll reach out to us and say like, hey, does this can I come and cosplay? And it's like, check with the venue. Our answer is always 1,000% yes. Come, in whatever cosplay you want. The venue might have a helmet policy, a lightsaber, a sword policy, something like that. So,
Yeah, they were. I'm trying to remember. I think they were checking blasters at the door, or like anything like that. And I just remember thinking too, like, it's August in Texas. Like, do you really want to wear a helmet? Do you really want to be putting on Jedi robes?
It's weather dependent too. Totally. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't see too many people dressed up when we go out to Arizona.
Yeah.
For a reason.
No. Good Lord.
When you guys were here last, did you make it up to Rebel ScumCon at all? Because that was going on the same weekend that you guys were here in Dallas.
Darn, that sounds just like it's for us.
I know.
No, we didn't. I guess we'll have to look into that. We'll have to see what they're all about. Huh.
It's kind of like it's like a Star Wars celebration, but on a much smaller scale.
Mm-hmm.
This was the second year that they did it. It's up in kind of the DFW suburbs, like north of the city.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was.
Interesting.
I went for the
Put it on
first
the map.
time. It was a good time. It was a lot of fun. And I was gonna say I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this. I saw a lot of people at the show this month or this year that were just wearing plain Galactic Empire T-shirts that they bought at the merch table or they had them for years, which of course is awesome. Where do you fall on wearing the band shirt to the concert?
Oh, I'm for it.
Okay.
I'm also for it, but I'm more for listening or wearing a band's shirt that's adjacent to the band that I'm seeing that will like tell people in my immediate vicinity that I am more in this direction or that direction, like a nod or something,
Mm-hmm.
I guess
I've also
you don't
switched to,
think
like-
about it too much, I guess, but
Today I have to do laundry today after this, but I've done like most metal shows that I've seen in the past, like I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I feel like I've worn not a band shirt. Like I have like Smudge Lord, if you're familiar with the the cat meme. Like that's my go-to concert shirt because it's like, what's this guy here seeing Meshuggah for? Like, does he even like metal? Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of funny. It just.
Yeah, I always think it was, what was the movie, PCU, that ruined it for concert T-shirts. Because I always think of, like, if I were to go to a, Texas Rangers game, nobody would look at me and be like, hey, look at that jerk wearing the Rangers T-shirt. So, like,
Yeah.
That's kind of where I've always fallen on it as well. Just wear the band's T-shirt, show them that you appreciate them, or, something adjacent, or...
I think the logic there is like, yeah, you want to like show the band that like either you've been out like to their shows in the past or you just bought some stuff. It's just it's a sign of support to me, I guess, when I'm doing it myself and when I see it myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also kind of going on with the show, are there any other kind of like weird things, funny things you've seen over the years at a or best costume you've seen at a show?
Some of the favorite gear that people have brought to the shows are like the mobile characters, like R2D2 gets brought to our show a lot. Yeah. And he'll just roll around, remote controlled by someone.
Oh, wow.
Of course. I met him briefly. I forget his name. But always a pleasure to see R2D2 pull up to the shows. Yeah. And then again, I like when people pull up full Mando. There's several of those people that have a full Mando, full helmet, then they do that. But I also like our 501st Legions that pull up. They're very fun to interact with. And they're always sticking around for the entire show because they have to prep and kind of practice, see where they're going to be able to do their thing contingent to that venue. But they also usually play the encore with us, which most likely is going to be Duel of the Fates.
Are we going to play that encore?
Are we going to play the encore? That's what I'm wondering.
I was worried. You guys left the stage and I hadn't heard Duel of Fates. I was like, oh no, what are they going to do?
We would never.
I mean, in terms of like weird stuff, we've seen the world. When you tour, you see a lot.
I'll say this is a PG-13 podcast.
Yeah, I won't go into too much detail, but we did have one instance I think that stands out to a lot of us is we were in Prague, and there's a language barrier on top of like we need a force choke victim and like trying to explain to people like, hey, you're going to get force choked, and our merch guy grabbed some lady out of the crowd. And she fundamentally did not understand like what he was asking. He's like, would you like to be force choked? And she's like, I'm choking you. And it was like, no, but like, sure, you sound excited. Let's do it. And she was an adult film star.
Oh, no.
When we brought her on stage, it was like very.
That was one, yeah.
She hammed it up. We'll say, and it's like I'm looking, and there's like a mom with 2 kids like front and center stage, and I'm just like,
oh no.
As this lady is like, Whoop.
Enthusiastically participating.
Yes, enthusiastically doing her part. Yeah, like
it's
a little
like-
bit too much.
Oh my god. So I remember Eric is like, what am I doing? I wish I could stop. I'm in a train wreck and I can't look away. I'm the conductor.
I mean, that's kind of what comes with being the leader. I mean, heavy is the head that wears the Sith helmet.
That's right. Yeah.
You said it. You said it.
What about what are kind of some other bands that you've played with that have been that stood out that you've had fun with? I saw you guys played with a DMC from Run DMC.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of one of the interesting and funny experiences with this band so far that I was going to list, is just interacting with Daryl McDaniels himself, just talking to him, and then ending up performing some of his hit songs with him was just like an honor that was out of this world. I'll never forget that day in my life. It was one of the best shows I think I'll ever take. Yeah. That was funny just because there was just like this like kind of marketing campaign that fused us together. He was doing his thing, we were doing our thing, and it's like he wanted to infuse some more metal style into his music. He ended up releasing this song called Metal Man that has us on it. And as a result of those, fusions, he was like, "Hey, let's do a live concert for this." And we ended up having him up for 3 or 4 songs for our May 4th weekend shows for one of the shows at Mickey's Black Box, which is at that compound in Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Rock Lidditz, as Kevin was mentioning. Yeah. Sorry.
I was gonna say, how did he reach out to you guys, or like his manager reached out to you guys, or how did that come about?
It was his managers, but also the people and the main person that both parties, both DMC and Galactic Empire, were working with for marketing and I guess influencing maybe. That was the same people and or person.
Okay. Okay.
And they just kind of connected some of the dots after that, and we got into the room rehearsing with him. He was super cool. He grew up in Hollis, Queens. I've lived in Queens for the last 6 years of my life. I actually just moved out of Queens for the first time into the Bronx. But yeah, just hearing some of the history of like what was going down back then, just like the genesis of hip hop somewhat, Rap was actually a bit earlier, I think, if my timeline's right, and then hip hop came along. But you might have to check me on that. But again, just hearing some of the history, hearing the authenticity out of his voice was amazing. And then performing with August Burns Red and Between the Buried and Me, I think were some of my peak ones. Yeah, as far as one-off performances go. So that was for Christmas Burns Red in December of 2023. But I also really enjoyed some of the bands that we've toured with, not limited to Power Glove, Super Madness. Who am I forgetting about here? Holy cow!
Danimal Super Guitar Bros.
Super Guitar Bros. We've toured with a couple times at this point. Bit Brigade, we're going back out on the road with again this coming.
Excited for that.
Yeah.
Super excited for that.
No offense to any of the previously mentioned groups, but I think Bit Brigade might be my favorite musical group to tour with, just because there's something about them. They just do it differently every night. They can play to the game differently every night. And it's just so unlike, the fixed sets that not only Galactic Empire has, but a lot of other bands have. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always fun to see a band that you never know what you're going to get each night. I mentioned I'm a big fan of the Drive By Truckers, and they're kind of the same way, where they might have a couple songs that they know they're going to do, but a lot of it's they have their first song that they're going to kick off, and then it's just like, well, we've got 13 albums worth of stuff. We'll just go with what we want. Yeah. As far as kind of like non-Star Wars related music, kind of what are you guys into? Kind of what are your influences? Is there anything really cool you're listening to these days?
I love Taylor Swift, and that's about it. No.
New album soon.
That's right. I mean, obviously I'm a Leprous fan. I'd say I'm like more on the progressive metal side versus the metal side of things. So like I'm always excited to hear like a great vocalist. So like my top three are Leprous, Tesseract, and it would be the Contortionist if they would put out some more stuff. But outside of that realm, it's clipping. It's like those three or Yashan. One of those four, I guess, top four.
Which is like more experimental rap and hip hop, correct?
Yeah, clipping is definitely like noise, hip hop, rap,
yeah.
Like so, which is like a weird departure, but like also it's like kind of in that same vein where it's like, hey, we're gonna throw a wall of sound at you. And it's going to give you anxiety, and like maybe you'll enjoy this. And I do. I know that I've played it. I've played Visions of Bodies Being Burned while I was driving the van and trailer in up like the Lake Tahoe Pass from Cali to Sparks or like Reno,
Nevada.
And my drummer is like sitting passenger seat, and he has anxiety around like steep drops. And I'm not helping him at all because like the music we're listening to is just like someone like giving a speaker feedback, and then like rapping over it about like a murderous serial killer going after cops. Like it's I'm not helping lower the tension.
No.
But like that kind of stuff is I love it. It's so stupid and it's fantastic.
I mean, I really like, as far as like metal goes, like specifically, I came up kind of on thrash metal, but I found myself kind of nestled in like more like avant-garde death metal, I guess, if I were to term it as something. And then from there, I went to school for jazz guitar, so I'm big into a lot of the jazz records from the 60s into the 70s, specifically kind of when modal jazz was popping off and the things that were to follow, like post-bop. Of course, big appreciator of bebop, but some of the big swing bands back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. But, from like 60s onwards is kind of where I'm at with the jazz stuff. I'm also a big fan of classical music of many different eras, and also noise and experimental stuff that, goes into sound sculpture, stuff that doesn't actually necessarily quantify as music, but more so sound and that as a material for art almost. Yeah, which I can, sound designing gets embedded into our set list. So I always, appreciate those little moments as a result of my, I guess, history with that kind of stuff. So, yeah, if I had a list for, it'd be still metal, jazz, classical, and experimental. Yeah.
All right. There was actually up at Rebel ScumCon, my friend and I that went. There was a panel with two of the sound guys from Lucasfilm, and they talked a lot about it. It was fascinating. It was honestly the most interesting thing that I saw that day. And they talked a lot about how, the original sound guys at Lucasfilm would just be like, go out in the world and just like record things, and we'll incorporate it somehow. And he played us a couple things. He's like, I have this old creaky staircase from a house in London. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but we'll do something with it. So I just, it was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and just how you can process all of those signals into something that's a bit more animated, or helps animate something, or, becomes more music itself, just by virtue of being a repeated phrase, being pitch shifted, whatever. Yeah.
So I think with, as you kind of said, you've done most of the Star Wars hits. I think, at least what I want to know, and maybe the fans, when are we getting the Ewok song?
Man, I guess we did miss one.
We have that one, and we have I always forget the name of it. The vocal jazz number, or like I don't know if jazz is
the one from Return of the Jedi,
Nub or something. Yeah, like
yeah.
That's in Jabba the Hutt's lair. Like that, we've talked about that being our like walk-off music, because when we played with Bit Brigade, they played Team America as their walk-off, and like people loved it.
Loved it. It's awesome.
So like it just kept the energy going. And like is it Yub Nub? I can't.
Yub Nub is the Ewok song.
Okay. So...
And excuse me. Lopty Neck is the Lopty Neck is the Jabba's Palace song, the original one.
Yes, yeah. So that we've talked about having both of those added in. Whether it's like playing it after we've played, or actually doing it. I think it'd be a blast to do either. So
The other thing I was kind of curious about is, looking at your kind of the early music videos, everybody is in a Star Wars costume versus now I would say your stage setup, other than I think the only thing I think is official is the drummer's got a Mandalorian helmet. So I would call it kind of, it's more a Star Wars adjacent costumes. Like you look at it, you think, yeah, that's Star Wars, but it's not. He's a stormtrooper. He's Darth Vader. He's Luke.
Like
so,
where was he? Yeah.
So what I always wondered is, did you get a nasty gram from Disney saying, you guys are not affiliated with us, you need to knock it off?
no.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Yeah, short answer is definitely no, yeah.
We joked with people in the comments before where it's like, why aren't you why don't you play in the official costumes? And it's like, the lawyers of Darth Disney are, much stronger. But like, they're aware of us, and of course, like, does Bob Iger know about us? Probably not. Do like the C-suite of Disney know about us? Probably not. It'd be cool if someone wants to throw us a lifeline. But we've talked with and worked with them in the past, and it could just be like, some creative team member at that particular studio branch that might have 300 employees of whatever 100,000 employees Disney has overall. But like, we spoke about working on the Battlefront 2, or the Battlefront 2 or 3, the newest one, the soundtrack for that. And like, talks fell through. We were like, yes, please. And this was before the current lineup, before Cotter and I. And then earlier this year, they reached out, with limited notice, to do Disney After Dark, which we would love to do next year. It's just a matter of like, hey, can we get like more than 3.5 weeks of notice? Because it was kind of split up. Like, we can build a whole tour around that month being out there, but we can't just do like one day nothing, one day 3 days of nothing, but like, yes, we would love to do that.
Yeah, so they're aware of us, and I think the main reason for like kind of jutting out into other costumes was to avoid anything that could happen in the future. Not that it was to be foreseen, but also to just have a bit more of a creative thing about it, make your own persona kind of thing about it, that use these references and these parentheses from Star Wars, so to speak, enough to assemble your own sketch of a figure, a creature.
I kind of thought of it as like, if you're playing like a Knights of the Old Republic or something like that, creating your own character, you're going to do something that is clearly of the Star Wars universe, but not necessarily an established character.
I think we wanted to just put ourselves in the universe. I think we were just like, okay, let's imagine a group of 5 musicians that exist in this universe, this galaxy. I actually just saw a really cool like graphic of a map for the entire Star Wars map that has gone out throughout all the films, throughout all the series. And it's just really cool to see how everything's labeled, how there's still untouched territory in this galaxy, But that's how it's kind of been for me, at least, is just like having my own personal place in the Star Wars universe almost. And I think that's like one of the essences of cosplaying as well, is that, you're putting yourself in this environment. It's powerful when you use your head for it. Yeah.
For each of kind of your stage personas, was there anything particularly that inspired it?
Mine's definitely a Death Trooper. And I think that Cotter's is Cad Bane.
Bane, I was going to say like Bane mixed with Garth Brooks, really.
Yeah, Garth Brooks.
Bane mixed with Garth Brooks. That's how it's been previously described. I like how you described it earlier, though. Darth Brooks from Oklahoma.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100% on the head. So adjacent stuff. Mine was also a funny one. We've been saying my name live lately for our set, and people have just been cracking up.
Oh my god, yeah, people love it.
People love it. Yeah. So it was just having having fun, putting ourselves in the universe, and I guess just breaking out of the having to permanently be a stormtrooper for your character or something.
Mm-hmm.
What if you wanted to be something else? Who's to say that they might not change a bit in the future too?
Right.
Yeah.
So talking about kind of Star Wars in general, how did each of you like get into Star Wars, or kind of like an early Star Wars memory that kind of was like, this is what imprinted on me?
I think my first thing was my uncles were into Dungeons and Dragons very early on in their teenagehood, and then from there it kind of they delved into like different sci-fi franchises from there, both Star Wars and it's many of the other ones. Sorry, I'm blanking a little bit because I'm thinking of just what they had told me. Yeah, just some of the first movies, right? Of course, they're not first in the whole sequence of things, but those are some of the ones that my uncles initially told me about. And I remember hearing like that Star Wars funk record, right? The one that everyone, I mean, it gets played so many times for house music at our venues. So, I mean, I think those were kind of the first 2 or 3 things. Yeah, just my uncle's association with it, them telling me about it, because my parents didn't tell me about it. They didn't like it enough.
I came in pretty late to the party where like I kind of got interested when my guitar player in my other band joined this, and I was like, I guess I'll check it out. Like I'm a Lord of the Rings guy. Like I'm
okay.
Not, I'm more the high fantasy side of things versus the sci-fi side of things. And I was like, I guess I'll give it a try. And then slowly caught my way up. It's funny, but like the whole time that I've been dating my husband up to like just got married, now that I'm in the Star Wars band, like they still know way more than I do about comics too. But like it's kind of my unintentional goal to be the know-it-all. I'm like, I am in the Star Wars band, not you. So I know who this character is and where they come from and what a Night Sister is and all of that lore. You don't have to tell me, but let me just hear it again so that I can.
Yeah, just to refresh my memory. Yeah. I'll make sure that you know what you're talking about.
Exactly. So the same thing with comics, where it's like Poison Ivy. I don't. Is she important to Batman? I've never heard of her.
There any kind of current Star Wars projects that you've really liked lately? I guess maybe ever since Disney took over, or ever since the Disney Plus era started?
Andor.
Yeah. I was gonna say Andor's probably been the best, but also I did enjoy. Was Mandalorian under Disney?
Yes.
Yeah. So I did enjoy Mandalorian. I know there's some kind of mixed critiques about it, but I also got to meet Giancarlo Esposito at one of the conventions we were at, and just briefly talk to him about his experience with some of that. Another cool person that I've met that I probably should have mentioned earlier, but yeah, just to get some insight as to how that went down was really cool.
Yeah, Andor was absolutely fantastic, and I was thinking about doing a rewatch, and I was like, I could just turn on the news. Like, there's not much difference these days.
Yeah.
I just too much of my favorite, I would say.
Yeah.
All like the first three movies are my favorite, and I don't think it's ever going to change. That, and then the Clone Wars. I think the Clone Wars were my favorite as a kid. That was another one of my early upbringings for Star Wars. Is I saw that Clone Wars show on Cartoon Network.
Yep.
And that
good.
That had Battle of Hoth in it. That's why I was like so hyped to play Battle of Hoth when we got it into the set. I was like, yo, my childhood. Leon.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clone Wars is fantastic. I've been thinking about watching that again, and it's just like, that's a commitment, though.
It is. I don't even know if I watched it while it was airing, so I don't know if I ever got through the whole thing, but I should go back and make sure I did.
Yeah, because they did a final season on Netflix, I think, and then Disney's got the Bad Batch for 3 seasons, and there's always something new you can watch, or always something new you can read, or it never ends.
Yeah.
All right, I want to wrap up a little bit. I have what I'm calling the Force Lightning round. I have
we've done a couple of these.
Yeah, I have a list of different genres of metal. I'm going to name them off, and I want you to tell me kind of what Star Wars character comes to mind when I say it. You guys can.
You want to just alternate for this, KP? You want to go first?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. Is just go back and forth. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Black metal.
Darth Maul.
All right. Speed metal.
I don't know. I might have to pass for now. Holy cow! I don't know. I'm blanking on that for some reason. This part of my brain isn't working yet. I gotta hold on a second. I guess I could say a stormtrooper just because of how they the rapid fire and how fast the lasers shoot.
All right. We'll go with that. Next one up is Doom metal.
Oh crap. Ventress.
Oh, that's a good one. Hair metal.
Chewbacca.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Metalcore.
That's Luke.
Luke.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Everyone's favorite genre, new metal.
I think Anakin could get this, or maybe Yoda.
I thought Anakin as well. I actually have a soft spot for new metal because it was popular when I was in like high school and college. So, like Korn, Slipknot, System of a Down, like all those bands. Like I saw them all like late 90s, early 2000s. System of a Down is a fantastic show.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Next one up, folk metal.
That one might
that's gonna
be
be
Yoda.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's totally your turn, Kevin.
who else can I think of? Oh crap! I'm blanking on the name of one of the. I'll go with Well, since we've assigned Anakin to new metal, we'll do Yoda for folk metal.
All right, that's a good one. The other one I thought for folk metal would be an Ewok.
Ewok.
Oh,
yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Thrash metal.
You want to take this one, KP? I would say General Grievous.
Ooh, yeah.
Grievous.
Yeah, I like that.
I always pronounce that wrong.
All right, two more. Death metal.
That's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems
the classic.
Right. I think you already mentioned Darth Maul.
Yeah, Darth Maul was black metal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
All right, last one, and I think appropriate for Galactic Empire. Who would you associate with progressive metal?
3CPO. Just
32PA.
K2SO5.
I'm gonna give that to Ahsoka because
All right.
she's not a Jedi. She's not a Sith. She's something else.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's a very progressive character development.
I just say C3PO just because he's machinery.
Yeah. All of us progressive metal nerds are nerds first and foremost, and he is the nerd.
That too. Yes.
All right. Well, Cotter and Kevin, I really appreciate you guys coming on today.
It's been great. Yep. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
I'll have a link to all your stuff in the show notes. If you just tell everybody where they can find you on the World Wide Web.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. This was great. And this is, again, Jeff with the Death Star Human Resources Department newsletter. You can check me out at deathstarhr.com. And make sure you go check out Galactic Empire. If they're coming to a city near you, you need to go see them. You won't be disappointed.
Going on tour less than a month. Go check out our Instagram page for more.
All right. May the Force be with you guys.
Force be with you.
See you soon.
Yeah, see you soon, Cotter.